I have a feeling we're just gonna go ahead and have you guys stare at the screen for a while and then see what happens.
Right.
If you're gonna think that we're actually pausing, but in the background, it's weird, right? Hey guys, we're live. Oh, thanks. Yeah, there's Kimberly. So I got some fresh faces on here today. You guys want to introduce yourself first?
Sure. I'm Garrison Brown, Chrono Specialist.
Autumn Campbell, Talent Resource Coordinator for IT Works.
Jay Bessie, Salesforce Specialist for IT Works.
Susan Adams, JD Edwards Specialist at IT Works.
Hey guys, welcome back to this week's Coffee with Kyan. They have not had an idea that I'm putting them onto this task after one workshop I've gone on first. But I think some of them you have never talked to them, person met them before, and I'm putting the names to the faces and all. I want to welcome everybody come here today. I have one first question before we kick off what we have semi-planned from the past 10 minutes.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. How's the coffee?
Fantastic.
Good. Today's coffee is sponsored by Coffee M, and the retailer is Moonbird Coffee out of Chamblee, Georgia. And then thank you, Casey, for your supply. And thank you, Rachel Lane, our center specialist, on putting up with us. Quick question, because some of you have known each other for over a couple weeks, some of them have been over 4 weeks. And then what has been your experience like working with each other through this learning stage?
I mean, I personally think that, you can get trained a certain way, but it always helps to have other new faces around to really kind of, I guess, think of different techniques in your own style of what you're really doing, I think that's something that really benefits us all individually.
I think the essence of collaboration is just highly beneficial because it involves so many different parties, so many different outlooks, especially the one-on-one. So it's unbelievable what you get to know about another person, whether it's self-imposed limitation or where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are through these types of workshops. So.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. Collaboration's key. And yeah, we get to learn as much from others as we do from ourselves, right? So, listening to Garrison talk and Autumn talk and Susan talk and your Tulich, I mean, we learn so much. And then we're able to collaborate on it and also keep consistent as well is great. Building the brand.
Personal brand.
And I think just being able to see each other's downfalls, being human and knowing that everyone's going to have some part or obstacle that they struggle with, and just being able to see them get through that and push forward.
We're human.
No, that we're all human. Like, even though we're, learning all this material, but we're, working through the workshops. Jesus, Jay.
What have you learned from each other so far? Coming from different stages of your career, experience, industry.
Just different people skills, different personalities, different ways that we handle stress, ways that we like to be managed, personal strategy. There's a lot that I've learned.
Yeah, I've learned a ton. I mean, being in the industry for 14 years, you certainly develop habits, good and bad. But as you're taught when you walk through the door day one, you drop them, and it's our way. And it's our way to do it. It's how we work and how we educate our clients and educate our candidates on how we work. It's critical. But also learn from people who've been in training a little longer than I have been great. And listen to Garrison on the phone, listen to Autumn on the phone, listen to Susan on the phone. It's fun. It's really fun, and it's really cool to see everybody evolve and kind of move up and up. It's really good. So I've enjoyed that.
I've enjoyed just trusting the process and going with it, since this is kind of what I'm just now learning and starting out with. So it's good to have it fresh on the brain and just, see how it works.
Yeah, I agree. But kind of hitting off what Jay said too, it is when you have one way of thinking that this is how it should be, you have to have the mindset of we need to set that to the side, learn a new process, and then in the longer run, maybe implement some things that you learned in the past to see if it could benefit you in the long run. There's that, and then in addition too, even here internally, I think it's really great too to have other peers and other managers to actually sit down with you and say, hey, you sound great, but let's try and do this. Let's try and do this. And they're just so open with their feedback and suggestions and things like that too. So that's always helpful.
Absolutely.
No, it's great. And to Garrison's point, I mean, all the managers, they're constantly coming around, and everybody on the team's coming around, seeing how you're doing, and asking if you need anything. What can I help you with today? And hashtag Gary Dieter, who's our CEO, is instrumental in showing us how to do that. I mean, the guy literally is never in his office unless he's on a phone call or unless it's a critical meeting or something. But other than that, he's out on the floor with us and hanging out with us, or teaching us, or guiding us, mentoring us, showing us how to do it, showing us how it's worked for him the last 15 years, and overall 4 years here in the U.S. So it's been it's really cool to see. And I had the opportunity to have the think tank lunch with him this week and told him that. I said, I don't know too many CEOs that consistently are out amongst the team.
Hands-on.
Really.
Yeah.
You really don't see that anymore. And it really shows who he is and what he believes in, what he's trying to do. It's awesome. It's inspiring.
The genuine interest.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
also here day in, day out, and demonstrate through that this is how I work, and constantly make it happen, essentially, along the way. One thing I want to pinpoint on, kind of leading to the next segue, is I think everybody who's watching this right now probably curious that what's in the background and everything that we have going on. Of course, we're in our last month in our financial year. Before October 1st, our new year starts, we have quite a bit of a target to hit. And then that will lead us to a little incentive, a little bit south of the U.S. It's a place called Jamaica. We are trying to get there, and then this is our month and time to make it happen. That each of us have the ability to make a difference right now. So you see that myself and Hillary in the background, trying to cheer everybody along the way. And then this is our time to set a scene. This is our process. This is how I will lead to the segue. So we just finished up fresh off the workshop this afternoon. What was your takeaway that you have wrote down from what you have benefit or what you had gathered from what I've been through so far with it? This is how I work.
I wrote down self-imposed limitation can and will affect your ability to creatively resolve objections. I think that it was really interesting for me to see and witness everybody's self-imposed limitations and where they found their stopping point in the call. Right. And then going over different ways that we could have resolved those objections moving forward. It was just an eye-opening experience to see which different reservations each individual has and where their stopping point was, what the threshold was, and how they break through that for the next time.
It's funny that because Autumn actually working through the objection handling, one side on the client, one side on the candidate, that will go into our internal expert pack. And then everything I've gone through so far, it's not fresh, new rebuttal. I think for something like an industry veteran. And it's important for us to know that, hey, we're all experiencing through this. If it hasn't happened to you yet, we're always happening to you soon. It's coming your way, and how to deal with those. As we're all in this together to make this happen together.
Well, and that's what I wrote down. So rebuttals, influence, and genuine interest. I threw that to this workshop.
I was going to say too, I know we're kind of like just jumping around here, but I think that obviously, there's a lot of power and confidence, number one, but most importantly, something I really take away from this is how I work and what kind of distinguishes us from other recruiters. This also actually shows how much we care for your time, my time, but also the candidate's time. We're here to help you with all of your busy schedule. Of course, you could be going through an implementation. Obviously, you're going to be running around rampant. We're here to help provide that solution and make it a little bit easier for you. And we're going to help with your calendar management. I got a candidate for you. We'll line the interviews up, things like that. I think it does kind of show that we care a little bit more potentially maybe than other people that you've dealt with in the past.
Just piggybacking off of that, high level of interest, but also explaining what happens behind the scenes. A lot of people don't explain what their process is or what to expect after you hang up the phone, and there's a little bit of mystery there, and I think that we really clarify the next steps that are going to take place after we hang up the phone.
So who has had that experience? You buy a service or buy a product, and then they never disclose the full disclosure to you, and you went home, oh, it looks so easy on the infomercial or so easy at a demonstration. Came out, oh, I didn't know I have to do all this.
Right.
Right? That process is so important, the transparency, the open, honest portion.
Yeah, but the last 14 years of my career, I've never had a process. I've never had a formal process. How it works.
It just probably you're just doing this, right? Whichever way.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made up. Yeah. Just go do it.
That structure process is so important.
Oh, it's critical.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I really agree. And it has nothing to do with whether you have 14 years experience or zero experience. I mean, it's critical to closing the deal, critical to maintaining the client, the candidate, and melding that whole process together and making it in one form. And it's about the mutual commitment and essentially mutual respect between you and the client or you and the candidate. That's really what it's about. It's awesome. It's really, it is. I would say though that I've dealt with some of the calendar issues. I tried setting the calendar expectation and the client was not happy. So I've learned that you gotta have that mutual respect and sometimes work with them as much as they work with you. And it's not a perfect science, but if you want it, we got to get the deal done. And however we get it done, we get it done. But there is the institute of that process has to be throughout.
Yeah.
But it's like everything else, you make it your own to get the deal done.
Exactly. And it can be over precious about certain things, but we have to guard our discipline. We have to guard our principles, which is this is what we need to do to make it happen. Almost like the Jerry Maguire movie, it's about help me and help you. At the end of the day, the client's the one that has the need. And then we're almost functioning as a project manager to work with them on a consultative basis. Cool. What about you?
I'm thinking since it's a candidate-driven market, it's a good guideline for this is how I work. We digest it and then kind of turn it into our own, and then it kind of forms with different clients. We kind of pick parts, and I just think it's a really good guideline to kind of go through and set the tone for the conversation.
How we set that tone, that seems very, very crucial. So a little warning piece, because I think that we have new hires walking through the door, several individuals in the background that are going to come back with me and we go through this process one more time. By us going through this workshop in Dating Lead a couple times now and more to come, what feedback or what anticipation factors do you have for them before coming in?
What anticipation factors? Maybe not an anticipation factor, but like a word of advice would be to just leave the limitation at the door. Come in with a positive attitude and an open mind and be ready to just engulf yourself in the process and trust that the organization has learned through making mistakes that you don't have to make, and you can start off with your best foot forward and just come in and be a sponge and be here to know everything that you don't know.
I agree.
And be prepared. Lots of excitement throwing your way, including like impromptu session like this.
That's fun.
Some curveballs.
Some curveballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I was going to say. I think that you pretty, hit it on the head, but, there might be some days that you're a little discouraged and you get into the BD or maybe even client or candidates that may just not want to talk to you. You just can't always take it personal, and those are really the speed bumps that make you stronger, I guess.
Well, let's just say, it goes back to what I was saying before, right? You have to work with the client, you have to work with the candidate. Yes, we have a process. Yes, we want to influence our process with everybody, but there's some people that are not going to want to do it our way, but they want to do it their way. But it's the intersection of our way and their way is what makes it perfect. That's what makes it perfect. It's just that. It's just working with the clients, building that relationship. Yeah, we want all their business, whether it's Kronos, whether it's JDE, whether it's internal candidates, right? Whether it's Salesforce, whether it's Cerna, whether it's Epic, whether it's NetSuite, Workday, it doesn't matter. We want all of their business for every system out there that we work on. So that's the goal. And in order to do that, you got to build a relationship. And if part of that relationship means that you got to do it their way a little bit, and they got to do it our way a little bit, well, yeah, that's how it's going to work, and that's how it's going to go. And that's what's going to make it work. And you're going to end up, you're going to get 1 or 2 recs today, but 6 months from now, you're going to get another 2, and then you're going to get another 2, and eventually, they're going to have the trifecta, which is we want to build a team. We need 5 people, and we want you to staff all 5. That is the end goal, right? So I did it one time. It was called the $1 Million Lunch, right? The $1 Million Lunch was, the idea was to go and get that SOW to make $1 million worth of GP. And that $1 million could have been 10 people, for $100 an hour, or however numbers worked out, right? It didn't have to be, 10 people at one time. It could have been 10 people over the course of time throughout the whole year that made up that $1 million. But that was the goal, and I didn't unfortunately see it through. But I'd like to, like to see if I can do it again, because I think it's out there, and I think that especially within the niche markets that we work in, I think it's definitely out there. The ability to build that team, I think it's certainly out there. I mean, people are implementing the systems brand new all the time. It's just when can we capture that implementation to build that team? It's really the question, and it comes in various forms, right? You read about it online, Google, or it's LinkedIn. They're all great. So there's great sources out there to find out when these implementations are going on. And sometimes you get lucky and they bleed it ahead of time so you can know it's coming and then you can get after it. That's
Which you just personally experienced recently, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Last shout out to your own clients and candidates. What do you have for them?
Look forward to working with you.
Have a great weekend.
Anybody who's looking for an opportunity, challenging yet rewarding, please look up IT Works Recruitment and learn a little bit about us, and don't hesitate to contact me directly.
Cool.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Just want to give you a curveball.